Hello students, I am back for class 10 students, but this time with literature. Well students, the panic of COVID-19 scares us. Being in quarantine really grips us with fear, but every time we have such kind of negative thoughts. The only hope and the only way to prevent such kind of fear and to have an escape from such negativity is just prayer to God. To have unfathomable faith in God. Immense faith which can even move mountains. Well students, based on the same theme that faith can move mountains and hope sustains life, we are starting with the chapter A Letter to God by G.L. Fuentes, in which we will study about the two main characters. One is Lencho, a poor farmer. The second is Postmaster, who does not shake Lencho's faith in God. May I start with the first chapter of First Flight book. Students, this is your First Flight book in which we are going to start the first chapter, A Letter to God, which simply tells us how we have to have our immense faith in God. Starting with the first paragraph. Since you are familiar with the same technique of doing the chapter, that is, we have to divide the chapter in 2 or 3 parts, or we have to title every paragraph so that we can sum up in the end, or we can have our own compact understanding that what the chapter mainly deals with, right? Starting with the first paragraph, in which we are told about the location of Lencho's home and how his fields have become dry and barren. So the first paragraph tells us about the location of, location means Lencho ka ghar kahan hai, and all about his fields. So let me write, it is about Lencho's home and his fields. Well students, you being familiar with me, since we have done a lot of chapters based on the same style, so I hope all the students of class 10 know how we have to title, subtitle, you can say, every paragraph, underline the main points which feed that heading, and learning side by side. Well, starting with the first paragraph, in which we find that Lencho, the poor farmer who lives on the low hill near the river, but he also takes care of his fields which have become so dry, so barren. Unfortunately, there has not been any rain, no shovel, no downpour, but he is desperate and looking forward to rain so that he can have ripe corn ready to cut. What we find further in the second paragraph, we are told about his family, his wife, and some of his elder sons and some younger sons who are all playing around the field, but we are not told about exact number of family members in that. What we find is Lencho's wife is cooking supper, is cooking food, and they all are sitting together. Coming to the next page, page number 4. Page number 4, first paragraph, that tells us about rain. Rain that Lencho was desperately means very keenly or earnestly he was looking forward to. Lencho finds that suddenly it starts raining. Lencho, whose fields were dry, was very happy, was very elated, overjoyed. very much cheerful when he finds that it starts raining because his fields were dry. It rains. Lencho was filled with happiness. All his family members were also very happy to see it. But what happens? Suddenly, coming to the next paragraph on page number 4, what we find that rain changed into hailstorm. What is hailstorm? Hailstorm is just very heavy rain that comes with some snowballs. Hails are snowballs. Students, let me use some words in Hindi so that you better understand. Ole, बारिश के साथ जब ओले आते हैं, that is called as hail. So suddenly, rain changed into hailstorm. Lencho was filled with sadness now. He was not happy. He was very sad because this was not something that he had expected. Now what happens after that? When Lencho wanted rain, it rains. Suddenly it changed into hailstorm. Hailstorm means ole mein badal jati hai rain. Then what happens? There is a negative effect of that. What we find, there was a lot of loss, immense loss. What was loss? The 3 points that you have to remember, that is, this is in the last paragraph on page number 4, right students? What we find, there was not a single leaf. There was no corn. The whole corn was destroyed. फ्लावर्स पहले आते हैं ना बेटा, पहले फ्लावर्स आते हैं, फिर फ्लावर से क्या बनता है? फ्रूट बनता है. So all the flowers were gone. So coming to page number 4, the headings that we find is it rains. Rain started. Rain started. And then what happened after rain? There was hailstorm. There was hailstorm. After hailstorm, what are the points? Loss. For loss, you have to remember 3 points related to loss. Now coming to the next page, page number 5. What we find? Lencho's feelings. Lencho's feelings. For Lencho's feelings, you have to remember 5 points. Page number 5. Points to remember 5. Points for what? Lencho's feelings. हमारा छोटा सा भी loss होता है तो क्या होता है? We are brimmed with sadness. We are filled with sadness. This is what happens with him. 5 points मैंने क्यों बोला? It is not because I am saying. 5 main points, 5 ही हैं which are given in the book to remember. What were there? The first point is that he was very much filled with sadness. First point, he was filled with sadness. Second point, he was very much sorrowful. These points are given in the book itself. He was very sorrowful. After that, he says that I did a lot of work, but I got nothing. Then he says that there is no one who can help us. Last point, he says that we all means all his family members will go hungry that year. 5 points, all these 5 points you have to learn. Coming to the second part of the story. When we are filled with sadness, हम क्या करते हैं? I know that all the students here in the hostel, they write their diary. Whatever feelings you have, you record in the diary. You write, you share, right? Recording in the diary means you share your views. उसने भी अपने views, अपनी sadness share करी. किसके साथ? I started the story with what? कि जब हम अकेले होते हैं, quarantine means बिल्कुल अकेले होना. जब हम quarantine में होते हैं, अकेले होते हैं, हमारे पास क्या होता है? अपना मन, अपना दिल. और हमारे मन, हमारे दिल में, हमारे soul में कौन है? There is one more strong power that resides in us. That is God. supreme power. God means कोई भी चीज that is most powerful that man cannot make, that is God. So he also had nothing in his control. He had the only faith in God. What he decides, do you know, students? He decides to write a letter to God. So next point that we have is decision to write. Decision to write. To write what? To write a letter to God. His decision to write a letter to God, because God is omnipresent. O-M-N-I, present. God is omniscient. O-M-N-I, फिर scent, perfume वाला spelling. S-C-E-N-T. God is omnipotent. God is present everywhere, in every atom. As I told you, God is what? Just a strong power, supreme power. That's it. Don't imagine any divine figure wearing some crown and, you know, spreading some kind of aura around. Not like that. So what we find is he writes a letter to God. अब लेंचो क्या करता है? God को letter लिखता है. Okay, students? When he writes letter, he decides first of all to write the letter to God. When he decides to write a letter to God, उस letter के content में page number 5 पर second last paragraph, page number 5 पर second last and third last paragraph, both paragraphs are about contents of the letter. Contents of letter. I have omitted article here, no problem, because this is a heading. Contents of the letter. Contents means लेटर में क्या लिखा हुआ है. अब आपकी बुक में ये जो चैप्टर में जो जो लिखा हुआ है ये सब क्या है? कंटेंट्स हैं. राइट स्टूडेंट्स? So contents of the letter. Letter में वो लिखता है God को, oh God, I am helpless. If you don't help me, my family and I will be hungry. ये सब चैप्टर में लिखा हुआ है. And he says that I need 100 rupees. Rupees के लिए क्या word use हुआ है चैप्टर में? Pesos. P-E-S-O-S. वो कहता है God, I need 100 pesos to sow my field again and to live until the crop grows, comes again. और envelope को वो fix करता है. What he writes on the cover, on the envelope, outer side, he writes to God. Letter कहाँ गया? Post box. किसने निकाला? Postman. Postman, a very hearty man. सबसे पहले तो उस लेटर को देखकर गॉड को पहुंचाने से पहले क्या होगा? पोस्ट मास्टर का रिएक्शन. सो व्हाट वी फाइंड नेक्स्ट पेज नंबर 5 पे लास्ट पैराग्राफ इज अबाउट पोस्ट मास्टर्स रिएक्शन. इट वाज अबाउट पोस्ट मास्टर्स रिएक्शन. पोस्ट मास्टर्स रिएक्शन given there that he was very much surprised, he laughed. Come on the next page, flip the page please students along with me. Next page पे आओ, सिर्फ आप अभी सुनते रहो. और ये जो headings हैं, ये headings all of you have to write. कैसे लिखना है सब स्टूडेंट्स को पता है. कोई भी स्टूडेंट, मुझे पता है इस टाइम मेरे पास न्यू नहीं है. क्लास 10 के सब स्टूडेंट्स मेरे स्टाइल को, टेक्निक को जानते हैं कि कैसे हमें लिखना है और साइड बाय साइड अंडरलाइन भी करना है. I know, very good students. So what happens? That postmaster, who was very fat but very amiable, very loving and a friendly man, what he does is the postmaster laughs heartily. He laughs because it was something to really laugh at. कौन लिखता है God को letter? But suddenly he became serious. Why serious? Thinking कि a man is in deep sorrow. Sorrow, distress means दुख में है. The man is in deep sorrow, distress, dismayed. The man is dismayed. He is in distress. Then he writes, he reads that letter, and after that, that postmaster decides what? To help that poor lencho, poor farmer. Postmaster decides to help that poor man. Help by postmaster. Help by postmaster. देखो बेटा, पॉइंट्स में जितना आप लर्न करोगे या रीड करोगे पॉइंट्स के साथ अंडरलाइन कर करके, that will be the best part of learning and understanding. So please cooperate me side by side. फटाफट जल्दी जल्दी से लिखते जाओ. कोई पॉइंट किसने लिखा, कोई पॉइंट किसी स्टूडेंट ने लिखा, बाद में अपने पॉइंट सब गैदर कर लेना, because you all are together. Help each other. Okay students? So what? अब help by postmaster. Help by postmaster में how many points are there? There are only 3 points. Question आता है एग्जाम में, how did the postmaster help लेंचो? जैसे मैं आपको बार बार बता रही हूँ कि 5 points उसमें लर्न करने हैं, लेंचो का क्या रिएक्शन था, आपको 3 points वो लर्न करने हैं कि क्या लॉस था. ऐसे ही इसमें आपको 3 points लर्न करने हैं कि what was the help given by the postmaster. What help given by him? First of all, he asked for money. This is page number 6, second paragraph. 3 points दे रखे हैं. He asked for money. He asked for money from his employees. Employees means जो post office में काम करते हैं वो. जैसे मैं employee हूँ स्कूल की, स्कूल में मैं जॉब करती हूँ, like that. So like that. So what happens here? Part of his salary he also gave. The part of his own salary. और उसके पास और क्या स्कोप था, जैसे हमें हेल्प चाहिए होती है हम अपने फ्रेंड्स से भी हेल्प लेते हैं. He asked for some of the money from his friends. All were very generous. Generous means dayalu. All were very generous. They were very kind souls. All were ready to help. Then what happens? Next paragraph. In the next paragraph, page number 6, third paragraph it is, we are told it was not very easy. उसके लिए आसान नहीं था 100 pesos इकट्ठे करना. आप सोचेंगे 100 रुपीस तो कम होते हैं, इतने सारे लोगों ने दिए. बेटा ये स्टोरी का जो सेटअप है हो सकता है बहुत टाइम पहले हुआ हो. जैसे पहले के 100 रुपीस हो सकता है आज के 10,000 रुपीस हो. अब 10,000 रुपीस इकट्ठे करना इजी नहीं है ना आज. ऐसे ही उस टाइम हो सकता है 100 रुपीस इकट्ठे करना was not very easy task. So उसने इतना सारा मनी इकट्ठा नहीं कर पाया. So what happened? He was able to collect only 70 pesos. Right? Now we get on the third part of the chapter. The story is divided in 3 parts. Last part of the chapter that tells us what? The reply that Lencho received. Now postmaster की help वाला part over. ये तीनों पॉइंट्स हमारे पार्ट 2 में थे स्टोरी के. अब स्टोरी का पार्ट 3 क्या होता है, इसमें फिर ट्विस्ट है. देयर इज सम चेंज इन द स्टोरी. व्हाट वी फाइंड इन दिस नाउ, लेंचो रिसीव्ड मनी. लेंचो रिसीव्ड मनी. लेंचो रिसीव्ड मनी. लेंचो को जब मनी मिला, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेंचो का क्या रिएक्शन था व्हेन ही गॉट द मनी? आपको क्या लगता है जब लेंचो का गॉड में इतना इमेंस, इमेजरेबल, अनफैथोमेबल, मतलब कि बहुत ज्यादा फेथ है, विश्वास है, जब उसको लेटर मिलेगा गॉड से वापस, क्या वो बहुत हैरान होगा? ओ गॉड ने रिप्लाई करा? नहीं हैरान होगा, क्योंकि उसको बहुत उम्मीद थी, उसको बहुत ज्यादा होप थी, उसका फुल फेथ था गॉड में. उसको एक्सपेक्टेशन थी कि गॉड तो मेरे लेटर का रिप्लाई जरूर करेंगे. लेटर आया, ही वाज नॉट सरप्राइज्ड बट ही वाज एंग्री. एंग्री क्यों? पैसा पूरा नहीं मिला. ही गॉट ओनली 70 pesos, not 100 pesos. Then what happened? We are on the very last paragraph of the chapter. उस paragraph में अब क्या change है? Lencho decided to write a second letter. So this is about the second letter. In second letter, he wrote something again. Now this is contents of second letter. Contents of the second letter. In the second letter, he wrote to God. बिल्कुल चैप्टर का ये लास्ट पैराग्राफ है और लास्ट के लाइंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं. You get this question sometimes. What are the contents of the second letter? Second letter में वो लिखता है God, of the money I had asked for, you gave me only 70 pesos. Send me, मुझे भेजो the rest of the money because I need it very much. And if you will not send, obviously he and his family will die of hunger. And in the end, he says that employees of post office are a bunch of crooks. क्या word है? CROOKS. Crooks. Crooks means they were cunning people. They were very cunning. They deceived him. Deceived means cheated him. So such is the chapter which tells us that how a man can have unshakable faith in God. The whole chapter is just about immense faith that we must have, that should never be shaken. We find two important characters, Lencho and Postmaster. Students, your homework is you will write about the character sketch of these two characters, and there are questions in the 3 parts of the chapter, questions based on oral comprehension check. You will write all those answers. Okay, answers of all the questions you have to write, and it is very important for all of us to be a true believer of God. Only then we can have victory. Thank you.